Which brings me to a very important point in today's software companies, right? This thing about teamwork sometimes is overdone, right? Because I'm able to communicate well. I go out for lunches. It all looks like we are all communicating very well, right?
Mhm.
How do you contrast that with being objective yet being people focused? How do I balance that?
Yeah, and that's difficult. I think it's particularly difficult for an engineer. Is I'll give you an example. When I would have my engineering cap on at a meeting early on, say we had an issue or a problem on a project team, and on Friday I'd go home and I think, well, I'm going to think about this over the weekend. Monday morning I always had a team meeting and where we'd come up with, we'd make decisions. But all weekend it would be bothering me and festering in my mind. I'd be thinking about it. And by Sunday night, I had a solution. This is the way we're going to do that. And then I go into a meeting and I would, I would say, okay, here's the problem. What do you think about it? And I would end up defending my own thought. And I had already made up my mind before I went into the meeting. And I think you have to learn how to prepare yourself to be much more open and much more understanding. And another thing that I found with project teams is to have a diverse project team is critical, because if everybody on my team is a mechanical engineer, when we come across a problem or an issue, we're all going to come up with the same solution. Basically
Mm,
because that's our mindset. But if I have somebody that's involved with, different phases of engineering, of systems engineer, electrical engineer, if I have people involved from finance, if I have people involved that don't know engineering at all, but are product testers or things like that, I get a different viewpoint. And all of a sudden,
mm,
you have to have that. That's a real strength of having a diverse team, is having different viewpoints. And the other thing is being a manager that's has the ability to be objective and to listen to these and think, well, maybe I wasted my whole weekend thinking about this because this person over here came up with a solution in about 5 minutes because he's dealt with it, or he or she's dealt with this before, or understands it, the problem better than I do.
in this section, Roger talks about intent, and intent is about body language. It's about the unsaid. Most engineers don't give so much of importance to what is being unsaid or the body language. When you give away an unsaid message or a body language to your team, what then happens is they pick up the unsaid, they pick up the intent behind what you did not say. They get empowered and they feel that they just have to go out and do it. Therefore, the need for having to understand sometimes what not to say, what to say, how to say it also ensures how projects accountability and responsibilities are taken by teams and they just go out and deliver for success. This is something that the three skills that Roger talks about helps you build. The next one is about overcoming biases. When you work with people, you quickly come into a decision, and it's almost like an engineering problem where a formula is applied and quickly the solution is thrown. But that's not how the people around you take decisions. There's a bit of a bias that you have to leave behind. And finally, he talks about critical thinking. Always, an engineer believes that for a problem, there is a root cause, and if you solve the root cause, the problem will get solved. If you look at it holistically, there are several underlying problems. If you touch one, there are other dependent issues that are there, and therefore, ability to see it holistically, that's a skill that you need to work on and start improving as you move up your career